everything. I don't know what it is that you're radiating that's got me so absorbed. You're an amalgamation of what I adore. Tell me it all. How the hell you got me so enthralled now? Come on, you creepy crawler, give me some of what you have to offer. And if it wasn't me saying all of this, I can promise you I'd be pretty sick. Your venom's in my veins and it's running through my heart. Back from the dead right into my arms. You're so cute, I wanna strangle you. Straight out of the lab, my little biohazard. A rotten core, you know I love you more. An atomic blast, my little biohazard.
We're safe for now, but not for long. This experiment's gone all wrong. The needle's leading off the chart. What's that sound? It was just my heart. It's atomically unstable. Maybe I should cut the cable.
If it wasn't me saying all of this, I could promise you it'd be pretty sick. Your venom's in my veins and it's running through my heart. Back from the dead right into my arms. You're so cute, I wanna strangle you. Straight out of the lab, my little biohazard. A rotten core, you know I love you more. An atomic blast, my little biohazard. My little biohazard. I've come down with some strange illness. Butterflies bringing life to this soulless empty pit. For the hell of it, biohazard. You're so cute, I wanna strangle you. Straight out of the lab, my little biohazard. A rotten core, you know I love you more. An atomic blast, my little biohazard.
Hey guys, Keegan Clark here. I'm sure you know what we came here to do today because, you know, music talks. Hey guys, welcome to Music Talks. I have here with me CALYPSO.
Hi.
So CALYPSO, how would you introduce yourself? I kind of wrote down a description. I was first introduced to your music through my cousin. And I think the first track I listened to was The Exorcist, and I immediately I immediately fell in love with it. It was sick as fuck. I mean, I share a lot of the same opinions, let's say. And it also just slaps. Kind of reminds me, that particular song reminds me of like Will Wood and stuff.
I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah, no, it but what kind of I kind of called yourself like I kind of called you like a maybe dark goth punk situation. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. I have literally no idea how to describe, like, even after so long of releasing music, I still don't really know how to describe like what exactly it is that I do, because like I could just say that I'm a chamber pop artist, because like that is like, I guess by definition that's what I'm doing, like with electronic instruments and like the classical composition too, but like I don't know, I don't like confining myself to one thing. So I just say that I write music that is weird and ugly and bad and gorgeous and beautiful, and that's just how I describe it.
I love it. I love it. I'm not really familiar with chamber pop as a genre, so if I had, I would have described you as that, perhaps.
Yeah, I feel like I fall into a similar category. Well, I got to be careful saying this because people have tried to clown me for it before, but like I take the most inspiration from like Cosmo Sheldrake and like Bjork. Those are really like, those are my two. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's sort of like my sonic world.
Yeah. We've got Acid and Soviet Dog in the chat as well.
I know. Oh my god, Soviet Dog is right next door. That's one of my roommates. That's awesome.
Oh my god, that's insane.
Hi, Mike.
That's great. Well, anyway, Maybe you could pull up. You could probably open my stream and pull open the chat so you can see the chat too. If you want. Or I guess you could also see on my screen share, perhaps.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let me make this full screen for myself. There we go. Cool.
There, yeah. So we'll get started. CALYPSO sees me all over Lyric Genius.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, no, that reminds me. I was trying when I was trying to do a cover of your song. Oh yeah, I did a cover of their song. I was trying to find lyrics to it and couldn't find them anywhere, which is why I DM'd you on Instagram. I want to say, like, I don't know how long ago that was.
I have no idea.
Yeah. And you responded, which is cool. And yeah. Now we're doing this interview. So let's
awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. At the time, I don't think I was even doing interviews. I'm not sure. It's been a while.
I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy you are here. Let's get on into this first batch of questions. These are the questions that I like to call the "Who are you" category. Of course, you've probably read the Google Doc I sent you.
I did, yes, because I tend to ramble, so I was like, I should probably see these ahead of time so I can prepare something.
Yeah. So let's meet the artist behind the art. Of course, all you guys know who this is. Everybody here is a fan.
Yay.
Show us your oldest and newest tracks.
Yeah, oldest is gonna be Tear It All Down, which, like, that's the first thing that I ever released. It's also the first, like, full song that I wrote. So it wasn't like I had a couple songs that existed before I started releasing stuff. Like, literally the first thing that I wrote, I released it just because I didn't really care.
Okay.
So I was like, you know, whatever, sure.
Yeah, I've heard Tear It All Down. Still a dope track. I like the hook.
Thank you.
Anyway, we'll get on into it. And then we can talk about it. Let's go.
Sit back in your chair and collect your monthly earnings. Enjoy it while you can, because sooner we'll be burning. We'll start a new society, no businessman allowed. Supposedly a boy slut, but look who's a pussy now. Grab something flammable, whatever is around, cause today is the day we burn this bitch to the ground. Here's what fucking happens when the kingdoms run the clowns. You have no other choice, now we tear it all down.
I love the distortion on this.
We really tried to warn you of what was meant to come, but you refused to listen, and now look what you've done. You never learned your lesson, all those beneath you suffer. Now watch your lives fall down, watch your businesses go under. Grab something flammable, whatever is around, cause today is the day we burn this bitch to the ground. Here's what fucking happens when the kingdoms run the clowns. You have no other choice, now can we tear it all down?
Acid, oh my god.
Well, that comment is so good.
That's real. No, but that's real. I mean, I was a friend of yours when you had more stuff, but I've been there. All right. That was Tear It All Down.
That track.
You what?
I said how I've grown since that first track.
It's so I feel the same way about my own old music. For the record,
Yeah.
though, it sounds great to me.
Thank you. That like it's nostalgic hearing it, like regardless of how I may feel about like my production back then, because like when I
Mm-hmm.
first started writing stuff, I didn't have, I guess, like proper production software. I was working with like literally just GarageBand on my iPhone. Like I remember
Ah,
it so fucking
wow.
clearly. Yeah, like when I
That was
first came
GarageBand?
to yes, yeah.
Fuck.
The super like distorted sound in the chorus, I remember like it wasn't. I tried to make it sound like a guitar, but it's my voice
Mm-hmm.
and sax that I just like distorted really heavily.
Mm.
Um, but like yeah, and I remember recording the vocals like in my car at the time, like that last like I remember recording
Mm.
that like in the parking lot after work because yeah.
It does not sound it. That's crazy.
Thank you.
I I I mean, I am a huge sucker for any kind of vocal modification,
Mhm.
distortion,
I am
flanging,
too. Yeah,
vocoders. I love it. I love all of
love
it.
it. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm. And I'm also just a fan of distortion in general, so that hook
Oh
is
yeah,
very dope.
thank you.
Um, so the next question here is, when did you know you wanted to make music?
I think I figured because I've been like involved in music for like literally my entire life. But
Mm-hmm.
I think I knew that I wanted to start writing it when I was probably like 11 or 12. I remember listening to a lot of like video game soundtracks and stuff like that, and that's what I started writing. Like I was writing solely instrumental stuff until I was probably about 17. I think that's when I wrote Tear It All Down.
Mm.
I
Wow.
was like 17 and pissed off at like everything, like capitalism in particular. I think it was just I don't even remember what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I just
Mm-hmm.
remember something had irritated me so much that I was like, I feel the need to put words to like the things that I had been writing because I've been writing electronic stuff literally forever. Again, like
Mm-hmm.
again on GarageBand, just like as long as I had access to it, I was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't start putting words to it until around then, and now I would like argue that vocal composition is like kind of one of my main things.
Ah.
Um, so yeah, so it's interesting like the the like arc that I've taken because I've been writing
Yeah.
instrumental stuff for like almost 10 years at this point.
Yeah, no, I was a producer first, vocalist second, and now I can't live without doing vocals, so I totally get
Right,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's so dope. Um, and of course, I also I'm right with you, but I also fucking hate capitalism. Fuck capitalism.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, that was that was a big reason why I liked your stuff. I liked your sound, of course, but I also really I'm also like very on the left leaning opinionated in that respect, you know.
Absolutely. Yep.
So I definitely resonated with a lot of your
Mhm.
stuff. Um so the next question here is do you want music to be a hobby or a career?
Career 100%. I can't imagine myself doing literally anything else. I don't really like
Mm.
I don't really care like what path it is in regards to music. Like there's a million different directions that I could go in because I know what my skills are. Like
Mhm.
I would be happy to be a session musician for like for the rest of my life if I'm playing like, sax and bassoon and bass clarinet on people's tracks. Like if that's my living then so be it. But like
Mhm.
I know just based on like what I know of other like just I know how the music industry works and I know that I'm like if I'm going to be involved in this, I'm gonna have to be in a million different places. Like I would love to be playing in orchestras consistently because
Mm.
like I mean right now I'm playing in my school's orchestra as a bass clarinetist, which is
Nice.
really fun. Yeah. So like I could go the performance route, like I could go the session musician route. I would like to produce for people, but I feel like my sound is so like I don't know. It's I like working with other people for my own music, but I feel like for me producing for other people, it has to be a very specific vibe. I don't know. But yeah,
Have you
a career is like
what about
100%.
what about like have you ever vocalized on other people's beats or something, or is that something
Yeah, I've been featured before. I was featured on my friend Brendan
mm,
Burzbach. His track "Hit It." I was featured on that. And
mm-hmm,
there's a couple more things that a few of my friends are working on that I
mm-hmm.
was involved in. So I don't know how much I can say about those because they're not my songs. But as soon as they are announced or out, I won't shut the fuck up about them because I love
Nice.
my friends' music. Like,
Hell yeah.
yeah,
Also welcome Lil Mo. Got Lil Mo on Twitch, welcome.
I don't know.
Um there he's a regular of mine. Finally someone who came from my stream and discovered you.
Word.
uh nah, but you know, I'm totally down to collab if you're ever interested.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Um I was asking that because I'm a producer and I like producing beats for people.
Mhm. I will happily throw vocals your way if you like if you want them.
Fuck yeah.
Yay.
Um I would totally want to. I'm totally down to talk about whatever.
Cool.
So let's see. Another question here. Oh yeah, who are your inspirations?
So I named sort of like my main two earlier. Cosmo Sheldrake and Bjork are like 100% in terms of like
Mm-hmm.
literally my entire soundscape. Like it's those two. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I've taken a lot of inspiration, especially recently, like for my vocal production, from Beyonce. Like she
Huh.
just like is, it's something about the amount of vocal layering that she does that just like change something in my brain. Because I've been
Mm.
listening to her forever, but like really on, I think on Cowboy Carter especially, she like it's hundreds of vocals stacked on each other,
Mm.
and I'm trying to do the same thing. And then
Vocal
in
layering
terms
is
of
dope.
like, yeah, I love it. And then in terms of like visuals for me, like why I try to look the way that I do when I
Mm-hmm.
perform, drag artists have such an impact on me. I think my main two are probably Evie Oddly and Arietti. Like those
Fuck
are sort
yeah.
of like my main two.
Hell yeah. Nah, I can go into a little bit about your like fashion or visual aesthetic as well. I mean I'm inspired by I want to do drag at some point. I cross dress sometimes on music videos.
It's so fun. Like it's like I have yet to get into like for real like the whole gig, like the
Mm-hmm.
wig and the corset and the padding and like the makeup and all that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My performance looks are pretty much like my drag, but I would like to
Yeah.
get into
Same
the for
here.
real. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Same here. Yeah.
You get
Nah.
it.
And my makeup skills are suck. I suck ass at doing applying makeup to myself. So,
No, I
um,
feel you. Mine can be improved too. I usually have
video
other
effects do
people
a lot
take
of
me
heavy
in.
lifting in my music videos.
That's so real.
um, yeah. But I don't remember where I heard this. It must have been in your Spotify description. But
Mm.
is it true that you were? I thought I heard that you were like a makeup or costume designer, makeup artist,
No, I was a I was a scare actor at Fright
scare
Fest
actor. That was it.
5 years. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
For like haunted houses and stuff.
Yeah, at Six
Gotcha.
Flags Great Adventure. I was there for a long time just because like it's I mean it's a really fun job. I would get like beat up. Like that's not an exaggeration. Like the public does not know how to act. Um
Mm,
So that's a part of the reason that I didn't go back there. But then I also just I have some personal qualms with a couple of the people who work there still. But that's a story for
mm.
another day.
That's fair. No,
Yeah,
I didn't mean to get into the meat and potatoes. I just wanted to.
you're good. You're good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just thought that was a cool origin story. Then and like a cool way to utilize your skills for like your own music career and stuff, because a lot of like the aesthetics you put on is like kind of horrorcore aesthetics,
Yeah,
you know.
totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
It 100% had an impact. Like I think Creature sounds the way it does because I was working at Fright Fest at the time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the theatricality and like just the, I mean, there's roller coaster noises on Carnival of Carnage. Like it just, I
Uh-huh.
think that album, it just that it sounds the way that it does literally because I was a scare actor and because I was obsessed with being a scare actor. I think
Mm-hmm.
like after Creature and really after Major Motion Monster, I think I kind of stepped away from that aesthetic a little bit and tried to go into something a little bit more I don't want to say mature necessarily, but I think
Mm-hmm.
that like the haunt acting like I don't know. I think I just stepped into a much more musical direction instead of a solely theatrical direction. I don't know. It's hard to describe, but
Right.
it's very clear where that switch happened like after Major Motion going into decomposition.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's cool. Um,
I like that comment. Maybe even a disembodied voice.
and I think Calypso is an intergalactic creature. Chat is another one. Um. Anyway, next question we have here is let's see. This is a question more aimed at indie musicians that discover smaller indie musicians that discover me and the community I'm associated with. But I could still
Right.
ask you in case this is applicable. How did you come
Yeah.
to find a community of other musicians?
Going to this school that I go to was the best decision I've ever made in my life.
Mm.
There are like the reason that I feature so many people, especially on my more recent music.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, from like Formaldehyde has two of my absolute best friends on it. Um,
Nice.
there is just it's like a haven of like some of the most talented people I've ever met in my life, and everybody does like they have their own sound that is so authentic to them
Mm-hmm.
um, that I just like I appreciate it so much. And this is such like a nurturing environment for creative expression and really doing whatever you want. So not only have my friends been really supportive of like whatever sounds it is that I'm creating, but like our
Mm-hmm.
professors are also super like very supportive of being like you make weird shit, don't like dial yourself down, you know what I mean? Like it's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. It's just and not even just the music aspect of going here. Like all of my roommates I've worked with um in like a professional sort of
Yeah.
setting. Like I mentioned my roommate right next door,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
he did the album art for Salinity, he did the single cover for
Ah.
Prehistoric. Like yeah, he did my logo. Like
Oh, that's
he's
sick.
yeah, insanely talented. I love you, Mike. He can probably hear me next door. Yeah,
So like the logo you shared with me, like for the or like
the one that's like on my it's like on my Spotify header as of right now, and
I'll have
will
to
be
check
other
that.
places.
I'll have to
Yeah,
check that. Let me check that. I just kind of want to do that right now. Actually,
yeah. Go ahead.
pay homage. Um, I was not prepared for this.
Somebody said that people want more funny content warnings. All right, listen here. Okay,
Uh huh. Oh wow, that's sick. Okay, let me pull that up here.
yeah,
Yeah, that's dope.
yep.
Very
My roommate did
punk.
that. Yeah,
That's
totally.
sick.
I
Hell
love it.
yeah. Mm. All right. Um. So the next question I have on here is do you and I guess this is an assumption that you are indie. I'm guessing you are. Do you want to get signed or stay indie?
The idea of somebody else owning my masters scares the shit out of me. It's
Mm-hmm.
something about, and like
Understandable.
I kind of go back and forth on this because I am aware that there are some record labels who do give you freedom to like own your stuff, but I just haven't
Mm-hmm.
come across that. Um,
Right.
I prefer to stay indie just because like I think it's a lot more fun to have this like DIY aspect of what it is that I'm doing. And I think it still sounds like, kind of professional, especially my newer stuff. I think I've
Mm-hmm.
improved a lot in terms of my like recording methods for like strings and winds and my own vocals and stuff like that.
Right.
Um so working with a record label could be cool.
Mm-hmm.
It just is heavily dependent on I guess what that would entail from like that specific company. I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
like I prefer to like own everything that I do. You know what I mean? Because
I'm
I pour my whole heart and soul into it.
of course. Yeah, I'm the same
Yeah.
way. I haven't looked. I might look in the future, but who knows?
Mm.
I feel the same way though. Let's see. Another question I got here is, where do you aspire to be in the future?
A really good question. um, I never my intention has never been to go down the like pop star route ever. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm no Harry Styles, I'm no Benson Boone, I'm certainly no Sabrina or Charlie or Chapel.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is to be like gay famous. Like that's sort of that's like my vibe. Like I want to be hanging out with a bunch of drag queens in Brooklyn and like I like you
Mm.
know what I mean? The idea of like fame, like the
Mm-hmm.
level of fame that like Taylor Swift has or something
Oh,
like that. Not
yeah.
that I don't
Hell
not that I
no.
think I would ever achieve that, but like if you can't leave your house without being swarmed by
Mm-hmm.
people, absolutely not. That's terrifying.
Yeah, no.
I would like to be able to exist in public, but also be like known if I show up to like a queer bar in the city or something like that. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
sort of that's my intention.
That's sick. Yeah, nah. I mean, if I ever got popular, I would not be. I would never want to be as popular as like a like a top hit or something. I would want to be like probably like a niche indie darling level of popular, like
Really?
maybe
Yeah.
50K monthly listeners or something like that. Just something
I
small.
think it's something about being able to see and like and this is something I could talk about forever. Like the fact that I mean with social media like we see so much of celebrities' lives and like I think about this all the time because people on the internet online have been like oh my God, people on the internet online fuck whatever. People have been
I didn't
talking so
notice.
much. Yeah, people have been talking so much about Chapel, and
Mm-hmm.
it's the fact that she got so famous as fast as she did is so scary, and
Mm.
she's real as fuck. Like like when she was like, "Hey guys, maybe don't follow me," and like if I like you know if you ask for a picture and I'm not really feeling it, it's not like it's not owed to people. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's
Yeah, I get, dude. I don't know if
yeah
you've seen the speech at the was it the Grammys? She's where
yeah. It was at the Grammys.
she talked about like don't like like she was basically calling out like
Record labels. Yeah,
record labels and stuff, and that was also in like a story on PBS about generally about how exploitative streaming services are and whatnot.
absolutely. It's
And
yeah.
I couldn't agree more. I'm so glad that someone on the top is calling that shit out. You know, someone who made
Right.
it.
She got that platform out of literally nowhere and was like, I'm gonna tell it like it is because like you can
So much respect for that.
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't even listen to a lot of Chappelle Rowan, but I respect the hell out of her now, just for saying that.
I just am obsessed with the fact that we have a lesbian pop star. Like that's a lesbian drag
Nice.
queen pop star. That's everything to me. Are you kidding? I
Hell
love
yeah.
her.
I don't know much about Chappell Roan, so I didn't know that. But yeah, that's dope. I think I might have heard a few. Like I've heard this is Chappell Roan. I got my red dress on tonight. Is that it? Is that her dancing? Is that her? Or
That's
am
Lana
I?
Del Rey.
Fuck. I'm bad at this. I apologize.
It's okay.
I don't. Can you
Yeah,
tell I don't listen to mainstream
that's
music.
chill.
Uh. So let's see. Okay, now we're getting down to the 5 songs. These are the 5 songs that you already picked out.
Yes, I did.
What are 5 songs? What 5 songs are you most proud of and reflect you the best?
I
So we're gonna
gotta
listen to
double
each one.
check what exactly I well because the things that I sent you it was like the song one song two that was for like I guess playing like in between like sections of
Mm.
questions
Mm-hmm.
but I did write down like what 5 songs I was most proud of and each of them like are for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
um I think that it's really hard. I have so many. I have so,
Yeah.
like it was occurring to me when like the question was like pick 5 songs that you're most proud of and it's like all right, cool. I have like 50 options to pick from. Um
Mm-hmm.
so I think Formaldehyde is absolutely one of them. Like
Mm.
it's just like I remember that song was sort of like a shift in a different direction for what my music could potentially sound like. And the fact that I got both Cadence and Kevin on it, again, two of like my very close friends, who are fantastic musicians individually. So like working with them was, I don't know, it was awesome.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's dope. So Formaldehyde, you want to start with that, or?
We can start with that one, totally.
Okay. That's different from the list you sent me on Discord, but I'm down. Let's go. Formaldehyde, featuring Cadence, Pledge, and Kevin Wolf. Yep. All right.
Rules are still around. Wisdom comes with age and morals could have fooled me. Entitlement and rage will quit your immortality.
Love these lyrics.
Fantasizing of what it used to be. You can't get what you want, resorting to chemical artillery. Pledge allegiance to your nation. Soviet lack of education, doing anything to prevent unionization.
2 steps forward, 40 years back. Watch us stay stagnant behind glass. I pity the lack of common sense. What a pity. Oh, to prehistoric men. Here's the thing. Can't expect to run the world from 6 feet underground. Though it seems your predecessors' rules are still around. Wisdom comes with age, your morals could have fooled me. Entitlement and rage will grant your immortality.
Keep the land how you designed. Keep it 1965. The good old times will be revived. Drop the country in formaldehyde. The souls who dare divide.
And watch us bring sensational life.
My speed is advertised. Drop the country in formaldehyde. Drop the country in formaldehyde.
That was Formaldehyde.
Yeah. Yep.
Featuring
Acid saying hit it, Table Dave. Abso-fucking-lutely. Yep.
featuring Cadence,
Yep.
Pledge, and Kevin Wolf by CALYPSO. Oh man, I think I swear I've heard that song before, but I don't remember that guitar. That was dope.
Oh my god, that's my guitarist and another one of my really good friends, Table Dave, which is like one of my favorite stage names ever.
So that's okay. That's Table Dave. Gotcha.
That's Table Dave, yeah. Yeah, he is all over. I mean, he's he pretty much makes up the entirety of Mutations, which is like the live record, because like he is my guitarist when we play live together. Yes, Table Dave and the Chairs. I can't.
That's great.
That's
Seriously?
his band name.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's his
fucking
band name.
god.
It's amazing.
That's fucking awesome.
But yeah, he's all over my discography. So it's like, I don't know. He's an insane musician. It's actually kind of ridiculous.
Table Dave and the Chairs.
Table Dave and the Chairs.
Performing in the dining room. Oh man. All right. So that was song 1. What else is what else about the song is like, can you tell me more about like the lyrics and the message behind it? I got a lot of it, but like
I like to think that Prehistoric and Formaldehyde are sort of like sister songs. They have very similar messages to them in that, like, Prehistoric, I mean, they were both singles for Decomposition. So like Prehistoric was about like how like truly geriatric people are in the government, and they're like still making laws that they're not going to live to see the effects of.
Yeah.
And then Formaldehyde was basically about the effects of those laws and how like they're either keeping the country in place, like, you know, chemically preserving it, or pushing it, or like, you know, pushing it back. That's why Cadence's opening
yeah
line,
I knew preservatives like formaldehyde were gonna play like some kind of metaphorical meaning behind that. That's dope.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so cool.
Thank you. But yeah, I remember writing that was really fun, because I always love writing with Cadence in particular. She's just like, we bounce off of each other really well, because I think we both like to be a little like that melody for the second half of her verse, that you can't expect to run the world from 6 feet underground. It's a hard melody. It's a really hard melody.
It really is.
Yeah, we like to write difficult things for ourselves.
It is very theatrical. You both kind of share that.
Yeah, totally.
No, I think it's dope. Yeah. So we're gonna go on to the next category here. These are music questions.
Yeah.
About the music itself. Versus the initial questions were more about like introducing you as a person.
Also, I would love to respond to this comment really quick.
Go ahead.
So this, because somebody mentioned if I ever do a show in the UK, they're gonna tweak out. We'll get into more about what performing live more is gonna look like for me. I am fully aware of the fact, because, you know, I can see like the demographics of where my like listening base is. There's a lot of you in Europe. There are so many of you in Europe that like I'll get there eventually. It's just like I gotta finish my master's degree first.
You've also got one in California, which is me.
Yay! Yeah, somebody else in the chat said too that if I come to California, they would be down for it, and I would love to play a show. I love California. Are you kidding?
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
Or what state are you? What state are you from?
So I'm from New Jersey. I'm based in New York currently.
That's quite far away.
Across the country. Yeah. But yeah, I've been to California a couple times, and the Monterey area in particular is like my absolute favorite. I love it.
Yeah, Monterey is dope.
Yeah.
Used to go to the aquarium on my dad's business trips. Such a cool place.
Awesome.
So let's see.
Yes.
The next question here in the music questions is, how would you describe the kind of music you create? We kind of touched on this. I don't remember if it was before the stream or after or
a little
during.
bit, yeah.
But
my music is an amalgamation of every sound I've ever heard in my life, and I mean that so genuinely. I think especially because
isn't all of our music like that?
Yeah, pretty much. I think it's just like it occurred to me pretty recently that like I take more inspiration from what I grew up around than I realized, because I grew up in like the New Jersey punk rock scene, or I guess the punk and hip hop rap scene, because those are like both all over Trenton, which is like the city that I'm from.
Right.
But then like my mom also she listens to country music all the time, so like I grew up around that. My grandfather was an opera singer. Like I've been engrossed in like a lot of music genres for like
Mm-hmm.
basically my entire life, and I think
Like
that
old school country, like
does.
old school like country.
Yeah, like
Right.
the not like bro country, like
Yeah, yeah,
ugh, it's
yeah,
like the classic shit. You know what I mean? Yeah,
yeah. Not tractor
totally.
fucking country.
Not this. Um, but yeah, my music is like
Hmm.
I still struggle to describe it, and like even when my
Mm-hmm.
like people will ask like my friends what type of music I make, and they're like, I don't know. Like it's I don't know. It's
Yeah.
very hard to, especially with this like this thing that I'm currently working on. It's very hard to sort of encapsulate what the
Mm-hmm.
soundscape is in like one sentence.
Yeah, like the three words that percolate in my mind when I try to describe your music is like
Mm.
dark, punk, there was a third one, I forgot it. Something like theatrical. That was a good one.
Yeah, yeah, I'll
That's a
take
good.
that.
Yeah.
Totally.
Um and here we go with the next question.
Mhm.
What do you like about the genre or genres of music you create?
Ooh, yeah, I remember I thought about this question for a while because I
Mm-hmm.
was like I should probably keep it to I guess like the main genres that I guess I'm like known for, even though I think
Mm-hmm.
that like chamber music is like it's not my main thing. I would like it to be. I'm shifting in that direction. But I feel like
Mm-hmm.
the things that I'm like most known for at this point are like dark pop and like electro swing, just because I mean The Exorcist like is electro swing, and that
Yeah.
was kind of an
Yeah.
experiment.
Yeah.
Um yeah. But there's a tongue-in-cheek, like very cynical nature that can be applied to both of those genres. Like Creature and Major Motion Monster are really cynical because I
Mm-hmm.
was listening to a lot of Ash Nico at the time, and her lyrics are so
Ah.
her lyrics are so like, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like that's a
Yeah.
big part of the reason why my lyrics are what they are for those
Mm-hmm.
records.
I kind of remember. I don't remember where. I don't remember. Maybe if you did this on Instagram, but at some point. But I think you were like talking about because like I think what wasn't Ash Nico on like fans. Your fans also like list of artists or
Yeah,
something, and then you were like,
she yeah, I was very happy
yeah.
about that.
And you
I
wanted to
came
be
up on
you.
whose page was it? It was Nathan Apollo. I showed up like
Mm-hmm.
when you go into onto his Spotify page and you look at
Mm-hmm.
like who else people listen to. I was one of the names on there, which is like insane to me. It's still I still can't really comprehend
That's
the
always
listener
special.
base that I have.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah, no, I've listened to a fair amount of Ash Nico too. She's awesome.
I love her. I love her so much.
Mm. Yeah. Um. So next question here is, what message are you trying to convey with your music?
That's the thing. Like I have a message for I want to say I have a message for like each individual album at this point. Like
Mm-hmm.
especially recently, like I'll use Salinity as an example. That album exists solely like to raise money for ocean conservation. Like that is
Yeah.
entirely what that album exists for.
Mm-hmm.
Um
I saw you
so I
mention
guess
ocean conservation in
yeah.
your card dot
Mhm.
co.
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yep. That's
I
where I
haven't.
keep a lot of like of just like organizations that I care about. Like I think
Mm-hmm.
the Rainforest Alliance is in there, and then a couple other things. But like Salinity's whole message was just like, I mean, it's the opening line of Interference is keep your hands out of the water. Like that's because like
Yeah.
I don't know, the planet has existed for such a long time, and we are so quickly destroying it. And I would like to do everything in my power
Yeah. I
to try to
totally get
halt
it.
that a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I
Mm-hmm.
understand that I am like a small force currently against a bigger force that is like environmental
Mm-hmm.
destruction.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But it all adds
but
up, you know?
yeah,
There are other environmental activists raising awareness too, and you're part of that group.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
I think that that goes hand in hand with a lot of the messages of the songs on Creature and Major Motion, which is just like it's just about like fuck capitalism and like fuck the 1%, and it's
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's just I don't know. I like to think that my main message across all of my music is like we are all capable of existing on this planet without hurting each other or hurting the planet. And I
Yeah.
think that like when you kind of pick apart the individual messages of like all of my albums individually. That's sort of what it adds up to.
I can't. That is dope. I agree. I think that's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's see. Okay. What new genres have you considered trying out, if any?
Anything that I'm trying not to say too much. Anything that
You want to be
I've
like a surprise or something?
Kinda. I'll say anything that I've wanted to try recently, I have, and exists in the form of recording, and you will hear more about towards the end of this month. That's all I'm going to say.
Ooh, okay. Okay. All right. No dates yet? Nothing's public yet?
May 2nd is a date that I have announced, but I haven't told anybody what it is yet, even though you can probably tell from the 2 singles that I put out already that something bigger is on the way. So
May 2nd. Save the date.
Yay.
All right.
Someone said say more, Calypso, say more. No.
Man, got me curious. You're not even gonna tell us whether it's like an album or a single or anything. Just you don't have to.
Fine. It's an album. It's an album.
Okay. Yeah. You heard it first. You didn't have to say that. I'm just. But,
are we shocked? I put out like 2 albums a year at this point. Like.
I get it, dude. I love albums as an art form, man.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I don't write music like for it to just exist as a single. You know what I mean? Like everything that I write exists for the purpose of being part of a larger project. So.
Yeah. It's like an aesthetic thing to me. I can't release too many singles at once.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like one single, maybe 2 or 3, and then an album and a bunch of other exclusive album songs on that album.
Yeah. Also, I love that someone said something bigger, and then the 2 singles, who I'm not sure what it could be. That's so, yep. That's why I was like, I'm just gonna say it. Like, it's so obvious. I also I have such a bad habit of like not keeping things secret. Like, I started teasing this shit in like December. Like, or no, before that, I think. Just because I can't keep my mouth. I just get really excited about what it is that I do.
I understand, man. I'm buried in projects that I have to release, man. I've stopped producing just so I can keep up with the administrative process.
Yep.
It's bad. So let's see. What? Oh yeah, this is more of like an abstract question. What do you get out of making music?
I think it's just like, I mean, again, I can't envision myself doing anything else. I think there's something about creating a soundscape, like, especially in the way that I like to do it, where it's like it's a full body of work that has its own sound to it. That is so like, it's so fun. Like it's really fun and really like freeing to be able to just like make whatever sounds I want and put them all together, and like somehow people are going to listen to it. Like, I think it's also just like the response that I've gotten from like, you know, from people who listen to me about like all of my music, and like how, I mean, so many people reached out to me after The Exorcist about how cathartic it was for them, just like, because, and I really appreciate that, because it's just like, I didn't grow up in a religious household. Like neither of my parents are religious, and the religious people who are in my family have been nothing but kind and loving and accepting to me for my entire life. So when I went out into the, like, you know, into the real world, and I saw that there are a lot of people who suck ass, for lack of a better term, and use their religion to excuse it, it was just like, I am gonna write something about this eventually. And then I did, and it ended up, you know, resonating with a lot of people, like a lot of people.
That's sick. That was one of the things I wanted to, before I asked the follow-up question. Cosmic Pulse said albums need to make a comeback, in my opinion. Concept albums.
Thank you. My God.
I agree. But about the Exorcist, I was gonna ask, like, if you did that because of your upbringing or something, but But it's cool that you did that, even though you didn't per se have like religious trauma or yourself or something. I think that's really cool. Because I know a lot of the music you make. Sorry, I know a lot of the music you make, including your latest single, definitely has like religious trauma or religious cult vibes. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess a part of it is because of my upbringing, because like again, I was, shown nothing but love when I was a child. So it's just like then you see the rest of the world, and it's not as great.
Yeah.
But yeah. But I'm glad that you mentioned Lord's Prayer, because like a lot of people they've noticed, like, because it's incredibly obvious that there is a religious theme to these two singles. So I'm very excited to share with everybody exactly what this project is. I have to keep my mouth shut, because like it needs to. I don't know. I need the reveal to be like a big thing, and like
yeah. I won't push you. I won't push you any further. I am excited though.
Yeah, me too.
I'm also glad that I'm not like the only one, because I was raised in a happy family. My parent, I was fortunate enough to have that, but I feel like I mean, I've made like political activist style songs with like a message, like that kind of message behind them. And I think that's really awesome, and it has to be said. I feel like in the same way you decided to make your songs about religious trauma and religion being bad in some respects. I saw the world around me and how much it fucking sucks compared to the life I lived,
Yeah. Well,
and
not
I had
even
to say
that,
something.
like, not even that it's a bad thing. I think I just like, like when I was a kid, I only knew loving Christians. Like, and it's wild, because that I've noticed is like, that's the minority. You know what I mean? It's like that's not the most common, like, I mean, usually you meet a hateful Christian, which is like, it sucks, but like, I don't know. So the fact that again, that like, that The Exorcist was so like cathartic for a lot of people who did grow up in families that were like that, it means the world to me. Like, it makes me very happy, and I don't know. That's really what I get out of this, is like, if I can help people in any way, like, I would absolutely love to do that.
That's awesome. So now we're gonna get into song 2 on your list.
Cool. Awesome.
What song would that be again?
Let me remember, because I mean, I very easily could just be changing my mind to like as this is going on.
Okay. It looks like
this
it
is
was
the ones that we're most proud of, right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm realizing. Okay, you actually did have more formaldehyde, but it was song 2 instead of song 1.
Right.
We can do with The Exorcist.
I'm gonna switch up one of them. Well, actually, no. Yeah, play The Exorcist. It's on theme, because we were just talking about it. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Cool. Okay.
This is the first song I heard from you. Let's go.
Raging rubbish, rambling, condemning sodomy, vocal variation of an ugly march lobotomy. Scream about the gays and how you wish you could exterminate them. Jesus, what I've hated the way you portray them. Love thy neighbor right, or is it only if the rich able-bodied sits hetero and white? I'm starting to think this Lord of yours is overrated. If he made you in his image, must have been real inebriated. Can't live in peace, gotta shove it down our throats. God forbid your kids queer, you have a damn stroke. I can fix him for your daddy up above, cause there's just no hate like Christian love. When it comes to women's bodies, you're crying and bitching. God's green earth with all the cherry pits. Don't hate the center, hate the center. As if that's any better. By the way, nice to and jeans. Oh, yes, just right. Raging rubbish, rambling, condemning sodomy. Vocal variation of an ugly march lobotomy. Scream about the gays and how you wish you could exterminate them. Jesus would have hated the way you portray them. Love thy neighbor right, or is it only if the rich able-bodied cis hetero and white? I'm starting to think this Lord of yours is overrated. If you made you in his image, must have been real inebriated. Trembling in fear, same bullshit for 2,000 years. Jesus loves you, that's manipulation. Going door to door, neighborhood indoctrination. I don't care what your little book says. What part of that isn't getting through your head? You go on to eternity in heaven. I'll be getting head in circles. Raging rubbish, rambling, condemning sodomy. Vocal variation of an ugly march lobotomy. Scream about the gays and how you wish you could exterminate them. Jesus would have hated the way you portrayed them. Love thy neighbor right, or is it only if the rich able-bodied cis hetero and white? I'm starting to think this Lord of yours is overrated. If he made you in his image, must have been real inebriated. rubbish, rambling, condemning sodomy. Vocal variation of an awfully botched lobotomy. Scream about the gays and how you wish you could exterminate them. Jesus would have hated the way you portrayed him. Love thy neighbor right, or is it only of the rich? Able-bodied, cis, hetero, and white. I'm starting to think this Lord of yours is overrated. If he made you in his image, must have been real and he created. Preaching, rubbish, rambling, condemning sodomy. Vocal variation of an awfully botched lobotomy. Scream about the gays and how you wish you could exterminate them. Jesus would have hated the way you portrayed him. Love thy neighbor right.
I love that line, Acid. That was The Exorcist by CALYPSO. Man, that was awesome. My first ever listen. And Riz says, I could not figure out what you said there for the longest time. The rich, able-bodied, cis, hetero, and white part. Literally, like a week ago, I finally caved and looked up lyrics. You were lucky. The lyrics didn't exist when I first tried looking them up.
Yeah, I feel like
you can thank me for reminding.
My diction has definitely gotten much better, at least like when I'm recording vocals, because like I used to I remember I would write so many words and would try to fit so many of them. Like my band and I have tried performing like my older songs live, and it's difficult because I wrote so many lyrics.
Right.
And I like would not have a moment to breathe. Like we performed The Exorcist live, I think once. In like October of last year, and I could not breathe. So I was like,
oh no,
I don't know. I'll figure out a way to do it, just because I know that if I like
maybe like
start touring,
and of course you're gonna have like overlapping vocals too. Are you gonna have like
Absolutely.
looping, or like a timeline, like maybe like a live performing like a timeline on a DAW or something?
Some
maybe?
Sort of like a backing track or something.
Yeah, backing
like
track.
That.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
That's dope. I still need to live perform. I've only ever produced, on a computer. Never done any live performing ever. One question, was the piano MIDI, or was it like an actual, did someone sit down and play piano on that?
Both. It was it was like it is a MIDI piano, but like it was being played by my friend David Goldstein, who is, I mean, his name is on the track, but he also, like, if you recognize his name, it's because we wrote the entirety of Salinity together.
Nice.
He is just he's a compositional fucking genius. It's like kind of ridiculous. I remember he improvised that solo. Like, it's
right. That's dope.
He's insanely good at piano. It's crazy.
I also want to clarify to Cosmic Music, I don't understand his take on religion. Is it positive or negative towards religion? I would say it's negative, but I obviously it's more complicated than that.
It's not, I don't think it's as simple as a positive or negative thing. It's like I have positive feelings about religion, but a majority of my feelings are negative. I think it's just it's the type of thing that it's like it's not going to be a black and white thing where it's like I either like it or I don't like it. I understand that a lot of people, like, their faith is something that's very personal to them, and if that brings them into being a good person and going out into the world and doing good things, being charitable, that's lovely. But there is there's a history of homophobia and other forms of bigotry that exist in the church,
and just using your religion as an excuse. You're using your beliefs as an excuse to be hateful and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I've always been the firm believer of, like, your right to swing my fist ends at my face type of stuff. Even if you think, like, I don't know, it doesn't matter what your beliefs are. If your beliefs are that, a certain class of people are inferior or sinners, then your beliefs suck because you don't, not saying, obviously, that all Christians are like that, I think.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that was The Exorcist. My cousin introduced me to that specific song. So that was my first exposure to you.
Awesome. It's so interesting hearing it, like, after it hasn't even been that long since I've released it. I think it's been like almost 3 years or something like that. But it's just like hearing how my production and like lyricism has changed drastically since then is like, I don't know, it's wild. And that song still has like a special place in my heart. I'm just kind of
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I would do it differently if I were to do it
Right.
today, but I
That's
didn't write it
fair.
today. I wrote it 3 years ago.
That's fair. Cosmic Pulse says being critical of something can be positive. So yeah, let's see that.
Yeah.
I mean, like I mean, you could say I don't know. You could say like if calling out the problems of Christianity could make it better. Yeah, in that
Totally.
respect. Now we're gonna get into the marketing question category. As indie musicians, we're our own labels and marketing team. These questions might help you broaden your influence and will help us to find you. Obviously, you found a lot of loyal fans already, but I'm gonna ask you these series of questions. These are more for like a lot of smaller musicians I've interviewed have benefited from this for sure.
Yeah.
Where can people listen to your music?
Every streaming platform ever. I would
Hell yeah.
there's still something going on with like because I mean like we were just talking about this like but like before before it actually started. Just because I have the name Calypso, like other people also have that name, and so I am mixed up. I got it fixed on it was never a problem on Spotify, but it's a problem on Apple Music still, I think.
And
YouTube
YouTube
Music
Music.
still sometimes, and then I'm pretty sure all of the other ones I might be mixed up with other people. I'm still not entirely sure. I know that Tidal is fine. Title's
Yeah.
good.
And for I've just learned that capital Calypso is you, and anything that shows up on your YouTube Music discography as capital C Calypso is not you. That's how I figured it out.
Yes. My
And
name's
most
in all
people
caps.
and most people also, it's also very obvious when I play the music because it's like oftentimes it's a completely different genre and not even in English.
Yep.
Yeah. And this is how it'd be. So what's the primary platform for your music? And what I mean by that is like, where would you hope people listen to your music? What's the amount of time and effort you've like? What platform do you like the best, and put as much time and effort into making it presentable? I guess mine would be you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's the number one. And I know that Spotify has its problems. I think it's just like the playlisting is like I prefer it to pretty much anything else. I mean, like I feel like Spotify and YouTube are really like those are my two. You know what I mean? Not that I don't pay attention at all to the other streaming platforms, but like I think I pay the most attention to Spotify. That's where I have the most people. So it's like, and then I think YouTube is like a close second, or not a close second, but it is a second.
Yeah. Yeah. YouTube for me, it's YouTube all the way because I do music videos there, and I was a filmmaker before I was a musician, so
Awesome.
Special place in my heart for YouTube. I'm also a streamer, which is also cool.
Yay.
Not to make this about me.
You're
yeah.
fine.
So let's see. Next question here. Oh, actually, we talked about this naturally. It just came up naturally, and I realizing just looking at your cover art for 5 seconds makes it pretty obvious. Do you perform live or ever plan to in the future?
Yes, I do. Right now, because I had never performed my music live until okay, so here's the story of how my band came together, because there is an event on my campus every year, it's just a cover show where like everybody auditions to like just to play a set of like a famous band or a musician's music, and I auditioned my sophomore year with doing Bjork, and the band that I put together. By the way, I headlined that year, by the way, which was like that was so cool. Or I guess I was one of the headliners. That year.
That's dope.
But the band that I had from that cover set ended up being my band, I think, just because we vibe, like we perform really well together.
Okay.
So like Cadence is my bassist, David Goldstein he's my keyboard player, Table Dave is my guitarist. And those three have been with me since then. And then my drummer Owen Hughes, we've been in a lot of classes together. So like I remember I asked him, I was like, would you want to drum for me? And he was like, okay, just because he doesn't really talk, but when he does, it's I don't know, he's sweet. And I've just gotten more people to perform with me since then, which is very cool. I like having a very large arrangement when I perform live. It's difficult, but it's fun.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah. I don't have a lot of connections to people who can play instruments. I'm learning keyboard and guitar, but
Nice. Yeah.
it's a slow process, especially with ADHD. But yeah,
That's real.
hoping to learn those instruments, and I've always wanted to be in a band. I think that'd be dope as hell.
Really
So
fun.
I do envy you in that respect. Not that I can't probably learn how to DJ too, but like, yeah, it's cool that you have like, it's kind of cool. It's cool that you have like a live, like a group of people that you can perform with on your music. That's really awesome.
It's very fun.
This is a off script question related, and we touched on it a little bit. Do you have like tours lined up, or like places you want to perform next?
I have like places in mind. I don't know how doable it is at the moment, just because like my thing with my live performances is like I absolutely love performing with my punk band, doing like the live like rock adaptations of my electronic stuff. I would like to start performing in a way that is more authentic to what my music actually sounds like, and that is very difficult because especially on this next project, you can hear it in Phantasmagoria and Lord's Prayer. The whole thing is strings, and like, and also just like electronic drums and stuff like that. But I also have been working a lot with like my band again. Like they are going to be on this. They're going to be involved in this album. Cadence played bass on Lord's Prayer.
Nice.
So it's just like it's the combination of like classical orchestration with a rock band, and figuring that out is very difficult. We got it done at my recital, which happened back in October, which a couple of the songs from that were recorded and I put them on Mutations. Feedback on violins is atrocious, and it is so like it's so hard to like that's why I'm trying to like really figure out what it is that my like how my performances are going to look going forward. But I do have places in mind. It's just a matter of like figuring out a set list and all that. I do plan on touring. It's just likely going to be a summer type thing, because like the semesters here are absolutely insane. So I don't think my band wouldn't have time for like anything until we're done here. So it's looking like potentially like July, maybe August. I don't know. We'll see. But cool. I would like to start touring like, for real.
Acid says, "Come to California." I agree. Come to California. Whenever you can, of course.
Okay.
So let's see. That's that question. Where and how do you promote your music?
It's oh my God, it's changed a lot. The day that I released The Exorcist, I made a video on TikTok about it, and that got attention. Like it's just, and I very quickly stopped like mainly promoting my stuff there, because I was like, I am not about to be known as a TikTok musician. Not that there's anything wrong with that necessarily. It's just like there's an air to that phrase that I was like, I don't know if I necessarily want to be involved in that. So after like it got a little bit of attention on TikTok, Spotify's algorithmic playlists kind of took over from there. I think is kind of like that's sort of what happened.
Right.
Most of my promotion happens on my Instagram, which like it's not like the place where I have the most followers, but like it's where all of my friends are. You know what I mean? Like yeah. So it's like that's sort of where I promote things mostly, and then I have started like announcing things on YouTube too when they happen, just because I have like a few thousand subscribers on YouTube, so I was like I may as well start like posting there too.
Yeah, makes sense. Robin, I did play some Calypso earlier, and I'm going to continue to play Calypso. Um, after these, let's see. After these, I think 5 more questions. I can't count.
That's real.
Learn how do you promote your music? How did you come up with it? Oh yeah, this is a good one. Yeah, 4 questions. How did you come up with your name and logo to the extent you have one?
Okay. So people have asked me if I named myself after the Greek myth, and I did not. I named myself after a deep sea fishing boat. And that is not an exaggeration. Jacques Cousteau had a deep sea fishing boat that was named CALYPSO, and that is literally what I named myself after.
That's
Because
great.
the full story is that, like, I mean, CALYPSO was a chosen name at first because, like, I am non-binary. I still identify with being a gay man. But there was a period in like middle, early high school where I was so like so genderqueer that I was like, I don't know if I want to go like by my given name anymore. So Calypso was a chosen name at one point, and then it became my artist name. I've now returned to using my actual name with like my friends and stuff like that. But I
Right.
am more than happy to be known as Calypso to people who know me just from online. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it.
Yeah. Mike, did you not know that?
I knew you were not. I knew you were. I didn't know anything. I didn't know that you named your name after like a boat, but I knew you were.
That wasn't directed at you. That was at Soviet Dog, who
Oh.
I feel like we're like literally that's one of my best friends.
Oh. Wait, didn't know about which thing though. That's what I want to know.
Where I got my name from.
Oh, the boat. Yeah.
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 It ended up working out. I'm like I fall into the oceanic sort of sound sometimes. So
No, yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, this is a good question. Do you have or intend to have merch?
Yeah, so I announced something on my story. I guess it wasn't really an announcement. I just kind of like it was a hard launch, I guess, of like my good friend Emil1, who's featured on Emerald and is going to be involved in this upcoming project. I got some trial runs back for like stuff that I've designed, and everything. I mean, it looks really cute. There's a reversible formaldehyde bucket hat, which fucking rocks, and I can't wait for that. But also this shirt, which I have been wearing this whole time. But yeah, that's my logo. I was gonna when you mentioned like you asked if I had a logo, and I was about to be like, yeah, it's right here, but I didn't want to give away the merch until you asked the merch question.
Of course, that makes sense.
I'm thinking that the like actual merch drop will probably be around the same time as the album drop, if not a couple days later. But I'm gonna figure it out. I need to do more trial runs because I refuse to like give you guys anything if it's not perfect. You know what I mean? Like I need it to be good.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. So this is the last question before we play the third song.
Cool.
Do you have a centralized place to link all things you?
Yes, I have a card, which I think is that what the QR code is?
That's what the QR code is. Yeah, you can scan that.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
too far. Oh,
right there. You can scan that.
Yeah.
Check it out. I've also pinned a link on both Twitch and YouTube. It's also in the YouTube description.
Yeah.
A lot of places.
Said, please make merch of the boat. Oh, that's good.
I'm curious to know what the boat looks like now. Is it still in service? Would I find it on Google Images?
It's literally just a boat. Like there's nothing special about it. I was just like, oh, that's a cool name. And then I found out that like that Calypso is not only the name of like a like involved in like Greek mythology, but also it is a style of music.
So it's a brand.
Yeah, it's a lemonade brand too, which is yeah.
I'm curious what the origin story is. Like, did you just like happen to like, do you have any connection to this boat, or is it just like you heard like about a boat in passing and it was like, oh, that's a cool name?
I've just like I've been very interested in the ocean for like literally my entire life. So I know a fair amount about like Jacques Cousteau, and so like I just that was kind of in the back of my mind that like that was, you know, like a boat of his. So I was like, I'm gonna name myself that because I did. I'm gonna say something kind of mean. I did the non-binary person thing where I named myself after an object, like in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Sailor Calypso, please make us boat merch. Whisker says. Wicker, my bad.
That. Oh my god! Wow, dedication. So, what are your feelings on Ocean Gate? Oh my god, DM me. I'll tell you. I'll tell you all of my feelings.
All right, so let's get into song 3.
Yeah.
On the list, let's see what you had here. Matchmaker.
Matchmaker. Yeah.
All right.
This is my favorite song on Creature. So yeah.
All right, let's go.
Cool.
Matchmaker mausoleum, your shadow and deceptive fake faces. Can you see them? Come and take your pick. This madhouse reeks of desperation, seeking words of validation. Get over yourself, shaking with anticipation. Were the comments, hearts, the plans to hook up, but with a random, so you feel a self-hatred. You're full of foolishness and a lack of trust. They're the only people that give a fuck, watching into your disgust. As you bury yourself alive, you're stuck in the matchmaker mausoleum. Your shadow and deceptive fake faces. Can you see them? Come and take your pick. Matchmaker mausoleum, so fragile and selective. After I can't even see them. What a bunch of fucking wrecks. Shadow and deceptive faces. Come and take your pick. Your shadow and deceptive faces. Can you see them? Come and take your
I sit home alone at night, wondering who's next I'll bite. Are you the one? Maybe not, so I'll keep swiping left, never right, 'cause I don't see anybody that I like. I could be just your type, but you'll never see. Seeing is believing, through 6 inches, heart starts beating, just in time for spooky season.
You can break the matchmaker mausoleum. Shadow and deceptive fake faces. Can you see them? Come and take your pick. Matchmaker mausoleum, so fragile and selective. After I can't even see them. What a bunch of fucking wrecks. Shadow and deceptive faces. Can you see them? Come and take your pick. Your shadow and deceptive faces. Can you see them? Come and take your
Feel low, I'm hiding in the dark. I wish that we could feel a spark, but things aren't what they seem when you are high on a spike.
Time signature change. Okay.
Wish that we could feel a spark. Things aren't what they seem when you are hiding on a screen. The matchmaker, the match, hiding in the dark. The matchmaker, wish that we could feel a spark. The matchmaker, the match, aren't what they seem. The match when you are hiding in the matchmaker mausoleum. Your shadow and deceptive fake faces. Can you see them? Come and take your matchmaker mausoleum. So fragile and selective. After I can't even see them. What a bunch of fucking wrecks. Shadow and deceptive faces. Can you see them? Come and take your matchmaker. Your shadow and deceptive faces. Come and take your
That was Matchmaker Mausoleum by CALYPSO. Who was the other person on the track, by the way?
That is my friend Digital Cam.
Ah.
I met her through working at Fright Fest. We were placed in the same like area. Like when I was at Fright Fest, I was in Demon District for like 5 years, and
Ah.
not to talk my own shit, but like I was the demon. Like people would come back for me all the time. You know what I mean? Like they would come back to see me just because like I would act so unbelievably foolish and just like run around and chase people, which we weren't supposed to run like when we would chase people, but I would do it anyway. And I had on like 4-inch platform shoes, which I do not recommend anyone run around in platform boots. It's dangerous, and I did fall and like bust my ass a couple times.
Jesus.
It was worth it.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Cosmic Pulse. I love the oboe. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's
Is it an oboe?
bassoon.
My bad. Well,
Yeah. No, you're good.
Cosmic Pulse. Cosmic Pulse said it. I wasn't sure what. I'm not sure. I wasn't sure what it was. So
yeah.
I don't think that. I don't know if that's any better.
All the time. Yeah, people mix them up all the time. It's just like that was. I remember this song. Like it's my favorite on Creature, and like I remember writing it was so fun because I met Cam through work, and then they came up here up to where I go to school, and we recorded the thing together like during my freshman year, and I like it was. Yeah, I remember it very fondly, and that's also the first song that I ever included like bassoon and bass clarinet on. So like that's yeah. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, man, this is dope. This is another off-topic question, but I actually have a playlist that I semi-routinely play and show other streamers on. Would it be cool if I put some of your music on there? That'd be dope.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, dope. Cool. I always like to ask permission first.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but go crazy.
Hell yeah. At least I try to ask permission first.
Yeah.
So let me say a little bit. Let me ask a little bit more about Matchmaker Mausoleum. I love
totally.
I love the instrumental. I love the vibe overall. What would you say the message behind it is, and also what was the process in making it?
I was like, okay. And this is where like the experience of being a freshly 18-year-old gay man comes in. But I still use it, but like I hated Grindr so much because men are so fucking weird. It was that and like Tinder and Hinge and just like that whole like I got myself involved in that because I was like, I don't know, I kind of want to try them out, and then I realized very quickly that like it rarely ever goes anywhere because people are strange.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I don't know, I was like irritated, and I was like, I'm gonna write a song about this too. So I did. And I remember I featured Cam on it because that was a conversation that we were having like one of the nights, because Cam was one of those people where like we met and were besties like immediately. So like it was just I remember we had clocked out from work and we're talking for so long, and that was one of the things that we got into. And I remember I was like, I'm writing this song. I'm like, we should write it together because Cam has their own music, which I have produced. So like,
cool.
Yeah.
Point me in their direction. Is it the same like name? Cam something?
Digital Cam, yeah.
Digital Cam. All right.
I will happily link you to their stuff. Their first track Mermaid. I remember I produced that like I want to say like 2 years ago, and that was like I've improved a lot since then. So we've talked about me potentially like redoing the mix for that track. But Red Berries is another track of theirs that I love dearly. I spent a lot of last year trying to like get the sax solo down that I had written for it because I made it really hard, and I spent a long time trying to get it right.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see. Okay, here are the more technical questions.
Yes.
First question is, do you know music theory?
Yes. I have been taking music theory classes for going on 7 years now. I took them in high school, and then I mean, it's just like it's a requirement for the major to take them. So I've been, even though I've taken all of the theory classes that I need to take already, I am taking another one, like, or I guess another one of the same ones that I took already, like just like to refresh my memory, because
Mm-hmm.
though the one that I'm in right now, we're talking about like pitch class and like 12 tone music and like atonal stuff and electroacoustic music, which is interesting, but it's very difficult to wrap your head around,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have like some sort of music theory background already.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I've been taking it for a while, and I feel like the it does have an impact on my music. You know what I mean? Like in at least in
Mm-hmm.
every, not in every single one, in a majority of my songs, there is a 5-to-1 movement in like so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I like the way that sounds. It sounds like a completion for the chord progression. So I include it in like everything.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
dope. Yeah, I always ask art. It was a more recent question because I always ask artists or musicians that if they know music theory, because some people do, some people don't.
Yeah.
It's interesting, and they still, and yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. Um, so next question here is, what do you use to make music? We've kind of touched on this a while, all the way through the list of questions. Just came out naturally, but like, what would you say? What do you use to make music? This could literally mean anything: instruments, hardware, software, etc.
So I use Logic for like my production, for like, for all of that. For my
Mm-hmm.
classical composition, I use MuseScore, just because
Mm.
like I feel like MuseScore has gotten like a little bit of flack in the past, but like they really stepped their pussy up in terms of like how good the sound fonts are. Like
Mm.
MuseScore sounds so good now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and for like my like equipment, it's usually just like my microphone, which is an AT 2020. I use it on my voice, I use it on my winds, I use it on strings. Like it works for literally everything. I don't know what it is
Mm.
about the microphone that makes it sound so good. I use other like microphones for like guitar and drums and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for most of the things that I am recording, which more often than not is my vocals and the strings and winds.
Mm-hmm.
That's I just use that, run it through my interface, and then have it just go straight into my laptop.
That's dope. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome. It's good to have a mic, a good quality mic.
yeah. It's really not that expensive either. Like I got it from like Guitar Center, and I was shocked at how good it sounds. It's crazy.
What did you say the brand was?
AT 2020. It's an Audio Technica.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Have to look into it at some point. I have a Behringer TM1 condenser mic.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I use it for like but it's basically use it as my vocal mic, but also for streaming, like right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Behringers are pretty cool.
yeah, pretty
The
cheap.
goal is to get myself a U87, but those are unbelievably expensive because that's like the vocal microphone.
Mm.
That's the everything microphone.
Is it like stereo? Is it stereo or mono?
I wish I knew that off the top of my head. I'm not I've used it in my recordings before, but it's just like when I'm working with other people who are recording like drums and
Right,
stuff like that.
right.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm just wondering why you want it, or like what qualities.
There's a clarity that I have not heard in any other, in like nearly any other microphone. That
Mm,
just like naturally without any like EQing or anything like that.
that's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let me get into the next question here. What does your production process look like? I guess this depends on the different songs.
Yeah, I can just give like just a general like it's like I was saying earlier, I don't write singles with the like without the intention of them being part of a full project. So like I envision sort of the whole album first. Like I have a vision for what the album is going to sound like. And again, I'll use Salinity as an example because I think that's like my best, concept project to date, with the exception of the new one. I had just planned out like way ahead of time what the whole thing was going to sound like, and so I knew that like, oh, okay, this song is themed around horseshoe crabs, this is going
Mm,
to have mallets and synths and like a lot of auxiliary percussion, and then the one that is more like the one that was based off of coral reefs, um it was like this song just needs to be busy, and a lot of the songs kind of like come to me just kind of naturally, like just sort of having a visual for like what the song would look like, if that makes sense. Like it's easy for me to sort of put together what instruments I'll be using to like get the theme across. Like for Lord's Prayer, I knew that I was gonna I knew that I was gonna write a wind trio of some sort. But
Right.
there's something about oboe being the lead instrument in that trio that was like, oboe has a very melancholic like vibe to it if written a certain way, and so that's the instrument that I picked to be this like lead instrument before it goes into Francie's verses in Lord's Prayer.
Right. That's
Yeah.
cool. Cosmic Pulse says that he uses an SM57.
Oh, I mostly use an SM57 for guitars.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you? Well, I know this question. I know this. I know the answer to this question. But do you use a distributor, and if so, which one?
Yes, I use DistroKid. That is like that. That's
Cool.
just it's the one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I use DistroKid.
Yep.
That'll be convenient if we ever want to collab. All right, this is another one. Do you use a publishing administrator? If so, which one?
Yes, I do. I'm registered with ASCAP, and
Nice.
so
am I.
Awesome.
Yeah. I wish it was better at like syncing music. I wish you could like communicate ASCAP with DistroKid or stuff. And I wish it recognizes albums and stuff. It's like,
right. Yeah.
Yeah, one in each song individually. It sucks when you release a bunch of albums and you're like, I don't know.
Yep.
Let's see. Next question. What's something you feel needs improvement?
Pacing myself. That is 100%. Like this is something that I had to think about for a little bit, but I have a lot of ideas and I work so quickly that I fear that I'm going to at some point, if I keep releasing music at the rate that I do, I'm gonna tire out like my audience, and I don't want to do that. And I know that like there's a bunch of people who listen to me who are like, you know, they appreciate like pretty much everything that I put out, but it's like at a certain point, it's like, all right, girl, give yourself a break. Like it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like I love doing this, but it will come to a point where I'm gonna burn myself out. Like it hasn't happened yet, but I know that if I keep working at the rate that I do, I'm not only gonna burn myself out, but I'm also gonna burn out like the people who work for me, like my mixing and mastering engineers. Like I don't want to give them too much to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just a matter of taking my time and like really envisioning and like fleshing out a project before I even start like producing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm very prolific myself, and I tire myself out with a bunch of the other stuff that I need to keep that is less satisfying for me to catch up with. I can't imagine if I was like if I had other people on my if I had like a team of people I just kept pumping stuff and feeding stuff to.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
I've uploaded one of my classical pieces on that's on YouTube, and like I finished that pretty quickly. There are hundreds of classical pieces that I have not completed because like that's just because it's again the problem of like I can't put out too much at one time.
Yeah. Those unfinished beats. Yeah, I can feel that.
Yeah.
All right. This is song 4 now. We're on to song 4.
Cool. Awesome.
So that is I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that.
Oh, is it one of the it's one of the tracks from Salinity, right?
I think so.
Is it Limulus Polyphemus?
No.
What the fuck did I send you? Oh, Triaca Semifasciata.
Okay, it's also from the same album. Okay, Salinity.
Yes, yeah. That's the scientific name of the leopard shark.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's so cool. Are these all like scientific names for creatures?
With the exception of interference, yes. Yeah.
That's dope. And here we can see interference swimming through the ocean. I don't know. All right. Let's go.
Shrouded in leaves and stems, looks like I fooled you again. Third or fourth dive, I'm hidden each time. Your senses fail you now and then. As soon as you spot me, I sink even further. Your lungs will explode under the pressure. Give it up, give it up, give it a rest. You're out of your mind, out of your depths. How many times have you thought that you're working yourself to death? You look a little desperate, pale in the face and short of breath. Give it up, give it up, give it a rest. You're out of your mind, out of your depths. How many times you're working yourself to death? My spots work in my favor. My stripes act on my behalf, deceiving your eyes. If you can't see, then you can't attack. The universe gave me this form to check the lights on you. Right under your nose, it's where it goes till I disappear into the blue.
I like that it's in like the POV of the animal.
Eyes peeled as you drift through the stalks. I know what you're after. I know what you want. Your primitive eyes can't see through my disguise. Brains overrun, winning every fight. All you see is green. You'll never find me.
All right. That was that song by CALYPSO. I like the sound I like the sound selection and the sound design in that one. That was really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about the song and also the sea creature that it represents, because I don't know the scientific name.
You were right in like that it's from the point of view of like of the creature that I named it after, because the
Mm-hmm.
whole theme with that song is camouflage.
Uh-huh.
So it was like I guess it can
See
be
ya.
interpreted
See
in
ya,
like a
acid.
number of ways. Oh, bye. It can be interpreted in like a number of ways, totally. But like really just camouflage is like I was like, I'm gonna take that word and build just like an entire song out of it and base it off
Mm.
of leopard sharks.
Leopard sharks. Okay.
Yes,
Gotcha.
yeah.
I heard like the
Um,
stripes or something. That was cool.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I knew that I wanted the song to sound like seaweed, because that is where I
Mm.
mean like there are leopard sharks in the like the kelp forest exhibit at the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and it's
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
that tank is what I was picturing like while writing this song, and I was like, I am gonna try my best to make something that sounds the way that that tank looks. You know what I mean? Like that was my goal with that song, and I think I achieved it. I
That's so
the
cool.
yeah.
That's so cool. As someone who spent many hours at the Monterey Bay Aquarium, that's awesome. Oh man. Um, yeah, it's cool too because you're not the only artist I know who makes songs in the POV of animals. I think that's cool.
Mhm. Yeah,
Friend of
it's really
mine.
fun.
Yeah, it is. Friend of mine, James, makes occasionally makes songs like cute animal songs, like about ducks and another one about guinea pigs. I was actually on that one.
I love that.
Yeah, it's he usually makes more like heavy, like Pink Floyd style punk music, and but on occasion he will dip in. He'll just make some like adorable animal song for fun.
Word. Love that.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It reminded me of that. In
Yeah,
some respects, just
awesome.
like hearing about it in the POV of an animal is kind of cute, you know.
Hmm.
So next question. Oh wait, no. Here we go. Oh wait, here we go. Artist trivia. There we go. Got fucked up
Yes.
there. This is more like the fun miscellaneous questions that don't really fit into the other categories and are more just like, would you rather type shit, like
Yeah.
random fun questions.
Cool.
Who's an artist we wouldn't expect you to listen to? This involves like a level. This would involve like a level of self awareness of like how people would perceive you. You know.
Yeah, I think pretty recently, I think the thing that my like I told my friends like what I've been listening to, and they've been like, okay. I've been listening to a lot of like Russian rock recently. Like Nautilus Pompilius is like the band that I've been listening to a lot. There's one song in there in particular that I don't know how to pronounce because I don't speak Russian.
Mm,
Um, but
mm-hmm.
I can't get it out of my head. It's like it's so good. I think it's because I was taking a class last semester about like the Soviet era in like classical
Mm,
music, and so I
mm-hmm.
just like I started getting curious. I was like what Soviet like rock and pop and folk sounds like. So I got
Mm-hmm.
into it and I found this band and I like cannot stop listening to them. So
That's cool. That reminds me of the username Soviet Dog.
yep,
Is that like an inside joke, or did it just happens to have that name?
he's had that username as long as I've known him.
Soviet. That's cool. um. So next question is, what's your favorite and least favorite part about being a musician?
Other people's opinions, like 100%.
That's your favorite or least
It's
favorite?
both.
Hmm?
It's
Oh, okay. Yeah, no,
yeah.
I get that.
Yeah, it's a because here's the thing. It's a double-edged sword to be in an environment where like everyone is very supportive of what it is that you're doing. Like it's awesome. It's
Mm-hmm.
a great feeling
Mm-hmm.
to be like just surrounded by like encouragement and being like, yeah, do whatever you want and like, creative expression.
Right.
If you're surrounded by only that,
Mm-hmm.
it creates an echo chamber, and with that comes a level of delusion and almost this like removal from reality. And that's what happened when The Exorcist came out. Again, I keep bringing it back to that song because like that's just it's just what I'm known for
Mm-hmm.
by a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so when that song released and the response was overwhelmingly positive, I like that's all I was seeing. And
Uh-huh.
it felt very good. But then, like the longer that song was getting attention, and people started to find it who did not like it and told me that they
Ah.
didn't like it and made sure to tell me that they didn't like it.
I can
It
already
like
imagine.
I like spiraled. It was wild because, not to say that I can't handle like people's negative opinions, but like it was just like it was a total 180. Like, and
Uh-huh.
so I I think I'm self-aware of the fact that I kind of like to exist in an echo chamber, and I'm fully aware of the fact that there are people who dislike me, but they've kind of
Mm-hmm.
stopped coming to my page to tell me that. And
Yeah.
I had to take a moment where just because, like when you get that much negative feedback, you sort of get into this headspace of like, like, is this for me? Like, is this what I want to be doing? And
Mm-hmm.
I had this conversation with my mom, who like she really talks me down because like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, she's always going to do that, but
Mm-hmm.
but me and her sat down and she was like, dude, you kind of came out of the gate as a polarizing figure. And
Uh-huh.
she was like, you kind of need to be okay with the fact that the things you're saying are going to upset people, and they're going to tell you that you upset them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Not even just that I upset them, but that like I went after religion, and I continue to go after religion, which is something that a lot of people take very personally.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so they, fired right back at me. It's not like I, like wrote a song about Christianity unprompted. Like I had my reasons for
Sure.
writing The Exorcist, and there are a lot of people who just like did not appreciate it and like really made
Mm-hmm.
it known. If it wasn't for the like religious aspect of it, there are a lot of people who just like, were commenting on like the mix or how my voice sounds or the lyrics or whatever,
Uh-huh.
because there is a part of it that is very theatrical, and that can come across as corny. But whatever. Like, I'm cringe, but I'm free. Um, so it's like, I don't know. I'm very accepting of the fact that like I am making music that a lot of people are not going to vibe with
Mm-hmm.
because of what their morals are.
Right.
I also make music that sounds weird. It sounds odd. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like people tell me like sometimes it's a comment and sometimes it's not. My music is bizarre, and I'm okay with that. Um,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
so I think it's, I mean, it comes back to just, people's opinions being like both my favorite thing, because I love the validation and the,
Least favorite thing when you get negative
yeah,
feedback.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because my music is incredibly personal to me. I put my entire heart and soul into like everything that I write.
Yeah.
Um, so it sucks when someone tells you that, like, that you're bad at it or whatever, which like
Yeah. I totally
I'm never, yeah, like, sorry, like, I'm gonna be a diva for a second, but like people can tell me that like my music is like not good all they want. I'm never gonna believe it. I know that I'm good at what I do. Sorry. Like I know for a fact that like like the music that I write is like fun and interesting, because
Mm-hmm.
music is supposed to be fun and interesting, and
Yeah.
like it is supposed to be weird sometimes. I
Fuck
don't
yeah.
know.
No,
Yeah.
totally.
So
100%.
I get into like my sort of like diva headspace every once in a while, where I'm like, bitch, no one can tell me shit. Like, no one can tell me anything.
Fuck
Um,
yeah.
yeah. But that was only after a moment of being like, ooh, the things that people say are not nice sometimes, but like fucking
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's you learning how to bounce that shit off and yeah, know your own confidence is like
Yeah.
be self-confident. That's what's important.
Yeah.
I
I
rare
very quickly, yeah.
yeah. I really resonated with the echo chamber mentality cuz like the first songs I released or I started making, I mostly kept to myself and talked about my own life or just abstract concepts. But then after a certain orange man got reelected, I went off on my latest album called Flightless Bird.
Like,
Shameless plug.
no, go crazy.
Uh, and all my friends like it, everybody likes it, but it's pulverizing and I mean, I do try to be, and to be fair, I do try to be fair and empathetic in the album. I extend sympathy because I have like friends who I had musician friends who I knew at first as like musicians who were very nice, very cool people, and then I learned they voted for Trump and I was like, huh, interesting. So I kind of, with that knowledge, I was like, okay, I guess not all Trump supporters, hate everyone. And I was being a little, I don't want to go down too much of the rabbit hole. My point is the album is controversial, and so far everybody likes it. But if someone were to come out and be like, this sucks, I don't know, I would probably spiral out of control too.
I mean, something that is oddly comforting to me is the fact that, like, if there were people who found me who did not like me and told me that they didn't like me, like, hello, that's just more traction. And I'm not the type of bitch to be like, oh, like any attention is good attention. Like, that's not necessarily true. But if there are people who dislike me, that does mean that enough people know who I am for somebody to dislike what I'm doing.
You just gotta make sure you just gotta make sure the right people dislike you, you know?
Yeah. I built a sort of like an outward exterior very quickly. I think, and now I'm less sensitive to it. I still am a little sensitive to it because, again, it's something that is very personal to me. But I can't blame people if they just don't vibe with what I'm doing. It's like, that's cool. My music is fucking weird. It's whatever. I really don't care.
My skin has yet to be thickened. I just went off because I'm surrounded by an echo chamber of people who are nice to me. I don't know if I would have been bold enough to do it otherwise.
It's something you care about, and if somebody comes along and tells you that they don't like what you're doing, it's just like, you just blow that shit off. It's like, okay, that's just one person who doesn't like it, but literally, this is gonna sound so fucking like cheesy or whatever, but literally all that matters is that you were the person, like, you made it, so as long as you like it, then who gives a fuck? Like,
hell yeah. Absolutely. No, I aspire to be like that.
Yeah. I knew I was gonna go off on that question as soon as I saw it. I was like, I could talk about this forever.
Yeah. I mean, what I love about this question is it really could go anywhere depending on how the musician feels, because there could be like many different things that could be your favorite and least favorite part. I wasn't prepared for you to answer with the same thing on both questions. That's cool. But I like it. Next question here is, would you rather, that's cool, but I like it. Whatever. Would you rather have all the gear you could possibly want, or 3 placements with 3 of your favorite artists?
Oh, this is really difficult. But I am gonna cheat, and I'm gonna say that if I were to get placements with 3 of my favorite artists, who again are Cosmo, Shell, Drake, Bjork, and Beyonce, if I were to get popular enough, I could pay for anything. Like,
The amount of people who answer with that is yeah. Of course, I've also heard people do the opposite. Like, I'll get all the great gear and then I'll sound amazing and then get popular so that I can. I don't know. I've heard some people do that. Most people answer with the way you answered, but some people answered that way. It's cool. And at the end of the day, it still depends on. It still highlights your what your preference is, which one you choose first. And I guess
especially because I'm a very collaborative artist. If that wasn't sickeningly clear from looking at my discography, it's like I just like working with people. And if I were to ever get the chance to work with these artists who I greatly look up to and respect, especially Bjork, who is just she's the fucking blueprint. It's like, I don't know. I would die if I ever got a chance to work with her. That's
yeah. And compared to me, you're pretty popular on my end too. So collaborating with you would be pretty nice. I would like that.
Dude, I will happily send you. I meant it earlier. I will happily send you vocals if you want to do something with them. Totally.
Hell yeah. Awesome. All right. So next question here. This is the last question. Wow. If you could only choose one of these, would you pick producing or vocalizing?
Hey, so this is the hardest question anybody's ever asked me. This is like my
take your time.
Okay, fine. I'm a composer first and foremost. So as much as I love layering hundreds and hundreds of my vocal tracks, I am going to go with producing, and I'm going to lump composition in there too, because it's just that is what I pride myself on. So yeah, that's
cool.
what I'll go with.
Cool. Yeah, I would probably have to go with that too, but more and more I'm starting to get into vocals and the way it's like it's hard though, because like one of the reasons why I love doing vocals so much is the way I mix them and add them into my production process. But yeah. If I could still do that, maybe I would pick vocals. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the last song.
Yes, and it is a secret thing that I didn't give you a title for, because I'm sort of taking this opportunity to just like, tease a little something
Okay,
for
all right.
this project that I've had to keep my mouth shut about.
All right, so this is a Discord direct. I'm going to play it now. Let's go.
Yay.
Inspecting where you shouldn't, her privacy is ruined. Looking for the devil's mark to see if something evil's brewing. Take the imperfections that make her individual and spin them into something, make her out to be a criminal. Inspecting where you shouldn't, her privacy is ruined. Looking for the devil's mark to see if something evil's brewing. That make her individual and spin them into something, make her out to be a criminal.
Petty curse by a pretty hearse. Preach another verse. You make it crawling on your skin, bubbling from within. Nothing behind your beady eyes, just a husk of something living. Much to your surprise, she isn't where you thought she was. Match your beady eyes with the matchbook that you brought, because it's crawling on your skin, bubbling from within. See the devil's mark in your matchbook start as the fire's burning at your shin.
You shouldn't, her privacy is ruined. Looking for the devil's mark to see if something evil's brewing. Take the imperfections that make her individual and spin them into something, make her out to be a criminal. So blind to the false prophecy that you believe your daughter is a stranger, a devil on the run, and craving your attention,
But not the kind you're giving.
and she can't even ask you spinning her into a criminal. Do you find joy in treating her like a toy? Listen, little boy, you will be destroyed, and when you're gone, we'll rejoice. Do you find joy in treating her like a toy? Listen, little boy, you will be destroyed, and when you're gone, we'll rejoice. Do you find joy in treating her like a toy? Listen, little boy, you will be destroyed, and when you're gone, we'll rejoice. Do you find joy in treating her like a toy? Listen, little boy, you will be destroyed, and when you're gone, we'll rejoice. Do you find joy in treating her
Okay.
like a toy? Listen, little boy, you will be destroyed, and when you're gone, we'll rejoice. Do you find joy in treating her like a toy? Listen, little boy, you will be destroyed, and when you're gone,
Tempo increase. Okay. Wait, was that a voice synthesizer at the end? That was sick.
I'm not going to say very much.
Okay, okay.
But yeah.
Ah, that was
Just wanted to- yeah. just
an
wanted to
early
give a little
debut. On my stream. Wow. All right. Not gonna name this. Not gonna tell us the name. Just that audio sample. All right.
Yep,
I won't
there
ask
you go.
any clarifying questions about song 5 unless you want. All
I'm gonna
right.
keep my mouth shut.
Okay. You have that right. So, I guess that about does it for our interview. This has been so fun. Thank you for coming through. It's really awesome to have you here.
Yeah, of course. This is awesome.
Yeah, no. I've been recording this entire thing. I will send you the I'll send you the VOD. And you can make shorts out of it or something. Because I do interviews. Yeah. And I could I can set that shit up for you.
Yeah. Oh my god, is it 2 a.m. in the UK right now? That's wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's crazy. No,
Yeah.
I always go live at 4. Like I do live streams and other stuff mostly at 4, and to the extent I have people who watch me in the UK, it's always like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
For them, and that's just unfortunately the best time for me to start streaming, but it's also like the worst time for them.
Yeah.
But I love doing interviews. I do interviews as much as I can. And this is the first time I've ever done really an interview of again, like someone as popular as you. And it's really neat, a neat experience for me, and it's cool to have the exposure as well.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm excited. Excited about this.
This has been awesome. I love doing press, so like thank you for having me. This is very cool. I'm glad you asked.
Yeah, no, I'm glad I asked too. It's always awkward when I reach out initially to, because I've always interviewed musicians who I've had some rapport with for a while. But this is one of my first times like asking people who, I mean, I've had rapport with you about the fact that I asked you if it would be cool if I did a cover.
Yeah.
But like someone else who I like a lot. I don't know if you've heard of Lulu Yam.
I recognize that name. Just I know that we have a lot of the same like listener base. Like they're on my my thing, that it's like who else your listeners.
Yeah, no, I wanted to get her on, but I feel like I might have asked wrong, because I did a DM, and I feel like in hindsight that probably might have come off as like a scammer or something. I don't know.
Potentially, I don't know. It's like I feel like it's rare that like I try to answer like DMs as much as possible, but like still sometimes I'm like bad with them. But yeah, sometimes an email is worth a shot if they have their contact information up. But
I never
say give
considered
it a shot.
that. I never considered that. Yeah, I'll try to give it a shot again. Yeah. I'm also thinking about doing like this doing a because I recently got an affiliate on Twitch. I'm thinking about ways to set up a trailer, and I've had this like visual idea in my head, and I was thinking one of the things I could do, like I was thinking about like doing different like snippets of like I do this in the perspective of wherever I'm sitting. Are you okay with being sampled in my trailer on Twitch?
What song do you want to use?
No, just like in the context of like I do interviews, and then
totally.
I do this. Okay, cool. I do interviews. I do interviews. Yeah, whatever. Whatever, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
I do interviews. Okay, I'm gonna stop before I embarrass myself. No, seriously, thank you for coming on, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, of course.
And I'll let you know when I have something. That you can have you on at some point, maybe like a feature or something. That'd be dope.
Yeah, awesome.
All right. Well, I'll see you around. I'm gonna wrap things up with the cover of mine. You guys, if you guys want to hear my my cover of Biohazard.
Nice.
I feel the same way you do about your old productions. I cringe at the production now because I can do better. But you know, I'm still happy with it, and I think it's a fitting song to end with.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let me find it real quick. Here it is. All right. I'm gonna pull open my end screen. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Peace. All right.
You're so cute.
My production's so bad.
I wanna strangle you straight out of the line. My little biohazard, my love, my everything. I don't know what it is that you're radiating. That's got me so absorbed. You're an amalgamation of what I adore. Tell me it all. How the hell you got me so enthralled? Now come on, you creepy crawler. Give me some of what you have to offer. And if it wasn't me saying all of this, I can promise you I'd be pretty sick. Your venom's in my veins and it's running through my eyes. Back from the dead right into my eyes. Venom's in my veins and it's running through my eyes. You're so cute, I wanna strangle you straight out of the lab. My little biohazard, rotten core. You know I love you more. An atomic blast. My little biohazard. Preaching rubbish, rambling, condemning sodomy. Vocal variation of an orthodox lobotomy. Scream about the gays and how you wish you could exterminate them. Jesus would have hated the way you betrayed them. Love thy neighbor, right? Or is that only if the rich, able-bodied, cis, hetero, and white? I'm starting to think this Lord of yours is overrated. And he made you in his image, must have been real inebriated. Preaching rubbish, condemning, rambling. Of an condemnation. Me scream about the things wish you could exterminate them. Jesus could exterminate them. Or is it only if the rich, able-bodied, cis, hetero, and white? Think of you, I of you, been real inebriated.